Finally, a woman matching energy. So this is a Am I the A-hole from a man. He says, am I the a-hole for being upset that my wife didn't give me what I wanted for Father's Day to get back at me? Yes, you're the a-hole, and you're the a-hole because she has to get back at you. I'm sure you have dropped the ball many different times, but let's get into the post. He says, I very well could be wrong, and maybe I deserved it, but I can't be sure. Yeah, you know you deserved it. I will include both sides of the argument. She does contribute to the household despite not working, so no, I don't want to hear comments about finances. She has plenty of money saved from when she was working prior to giving birth. So for Mother's Day, I had to work. My wife was at home with all four of our children all day. Our kids are 13, 10, 9, and 6 months. I had been working for 2 weeks straight at that point and hadn't gotten the opportunity to grab her anything for Mother's Day. So after I got off work, I went shopping because he must not have access to Amazon or anything. Okay. I got home at 8 p.m. Therefore, her Mother's Day sucked. All she wanted for Mother's Day was alone time where she wasn't needed, wanted all day. She just wanted to relax without being bothered, basically. And I totally get it, but I had to work. I didn't even get out of work until 6:30. She did absolutely appreciate the gift I had gotten, something she had said she wanted in passing for a few months. But she had said she was bothered because I could have gotten the gift any other day, and the one that she requested had been neglected. She just wanted some time to herself. She wasn't super upset, but unfortunately, she asked for a back rub as a kind of you can make it up by doing X type of situation. So I started rubbing her back and fell asleep damn near immediately because I was just exhausted from work and all else. So I kind of botched her day. Okay, so it sounds like you kind of deserve all that you're getting. Anyways, he says, fast forward to Father's Day yesterday. I had to work, but only until noon. She asked me what I wanted for dinner that night, but I didn't have a preference. She asked what I wanted to do for Father's Day and suggested some things like bringing the kids fishing or going swimming. And honestly, I didn't want to. All I wanted to do was relax and work on my truck uninterrupted. As soon as I said this, she said, no, you can hang out with the kids for Father's Day. I asked her why. It's Father's Day after all. Shouldn't I be able to get what I want? I immediately wasn't making the connection between Mother's Day and Father's Day. She said, why should you get a stress free, kid free, relaxing day of no interruptions when you couldn't even give me a sliver of that on Mother's Day when I asked for it? Again, you can hang out with the kids for Father's Day. Then she turned and walked away, leaving the kids with me. Am I wrong for being upset about it? My wife said I have zero ground to stand on because of the past several Mother's Day and birthdays of hers. I've worked and she hasn't been able to do anything that she has wanted to do. Her most recent employer gives all moms Mother's Days off and fathers and dads Father's Days off as well as all birthdays. So she's always had the day off, but I never have those days off. So it's difficult to do anything for her for those days. So, yes, you are the a-hole because even if you knew that you had to work, you could have created some space for her. You could have given her the day before Mother's Day. You could have taken some time. And who is working 14 days straight? It sounds like this is something that you're choosing to do. You don't want to give her space. Plus, you're spending all of your time away, and then you want to come in and work on your truck instead of spending any time with your kids. This is one of the reasons why, after divorce, many of these men are socially disconnected from their children because they believe that all they have to do is go to work. They believe that they are simply an ATM, and then they get upset because they are treated simply like an ATM, and it's perpetuated by them. They do not think that their presence is any more than just going to work. All right, let's look at some of the comments. Scuba CC says, why didn't you give her a makeup day on your next day off? Land Platypus says, or why didn't he hire a babysitter for some or all of Mother's Day rather than go shopping at the end of the day? Sin PHX says, man, that's a good idea. That would have meant OP could focus on his stressful job, but still get exactly what his wife wanted. If you don't have a regular babysitter, maybe he could have reached out to a family member. That would mean that he actually has to take some initiative to care about what his wife wanted. And then he would have to create a game plan. He doesn't want to do that. He simply wants to go to work. Gaboo says, I feel like this is more of a case of lacking some delicate handling. If I had to skip out on an important date for my significant other, I'd apologize, check in with text several times between work, and promise to make it up on another date. The apology gift seems to be an afterthought. The apologist was an afterthought since he bought it at the very last minute possible. Exactly. He didn't have to buy it. We have so much technology today that you don't even have to step into a store. So that was an a-hole move. He's an a-hole. He doesn't care. President background is like, yep, hey, it's not like you can find out in advance when Mother's Day is, can you? Sarcasm. Vampire Priest says he literally fell asleep during her requested apology and is still asking if he's the a-hole. The bar is in hell. Sammy says, and now I will be using apology gift every opportunity I get. Data something says because he forgot it was Mother's Day and then ran out after work to get a gift. It wasn't a I'm so tired from work thing. It was, yeah, exactly. He just forgot. He was negligent and he should have just done better. Okay, so this person is asking, if finances are an issue, why don't you take days off? Shouldn't be a problem, or do you not care? And then the OP says, because we have 4 kiddos who still need a college fund built up. And then this person says, and a few days a year is going to make the difference. If your children grow up with parents that hate each other or aren't there, what's college going to help? Seems like finances are definitely an issue. Why did you guys have 4 children if you think you can't take days off? And if you can't pour into them other ways, what is the point of having this many children? Then he says, finances are not an issue, as I said, but calling off work and even pushing the possibility that I might fall behind somehow isn't an option either. This isn't about us not being financially stable. That is on us being financially smart, but is also not smart because he is fracturing his relationships with his wife and his children. And that's what Meadow Morium says. The way you are handling your work life is not compatible with having a family. That's the long and short of it. Keep acting like you're nothing more than a wallet, and soon that's all you will be. Yeah, that's basically that in a nutshell. That is all he is. And so when this woman finally divorces him, when she divorces him, he is simply going to be that wallet because he hasn't built any kind of relationship with his kids. Because how can he if he's always working? Anyways, y'all jump in the comments. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. This man posted in the True Off My Chest subreddit that it's hit me that my divorce is real. My wife doesn't want to give us another try. He says, I'm going through a divorce. We have a 2-year-old son. I admit when it's my time with my son, I'm floundering. I find it hard balancing my job, taking care of my son, and the other demands of life. My life is in chaos. My flat looks a mess, and I'm barely hanging on. My marriage fell apart because of the demands of life, and my wife felt like everything was on her shoulders. I assumed she was having just as hard of a time as I was, as I asked if she wanted to stop the divorce and try counseling. She said no. Apparently, she finds things easier now than when we were married. Even having our son by herself half the time, her job, a barista, is even more demanding than mine. After she said no, when I see her, she is relaxed and content, like she was when we first got married. It's hit me. The divorce is really happening. I have to accept that I won't, I have to accept that, and I won't give up trying to be the best I can for my son, no matter how hard it is. But the realization hit me that there is no stopping the divorce. It gutted me. So, it seems like about the only way to make these peen havers actually parent and do half of the work in participating with childcare and chores and stuff is to divorce. Because when women ask for more participation, when women ask for a partner, they don't seem to get it, because women will make sure things are done regardless until they are just done and fed up. And so he's sitting up here struggling because he actually has to pull his own weight being in his own home. And her weight has been shifted. I'm sorry, his weight that he should have been doing is taken off of her shoulders and put on his. And now he's going to get better. He's going to get better because he has no choice but to get better. A lot of times these men don't do better because they haven't had to flex that muscle. They haven't had to perform. Now he has to perform or he's going to live in squalor, period. So I love this find out season. I love that women are saying that having a piece of a man is not better than being single. I'm glad that women are waking up to the married single mother phenomenon and opting out of that. I'm glad that women are choosing themselves. And their son needs to see that men need to actually do chores and participate with childcare so he doesn't end up like his dad. All right, let's look at some of these comments. Spaghetti Specialist says, I've heard of something similar before, and the reason why divorced partners find it easier now is because they have one less person to care for. Two, Nicknees says, I just commented, but she has more time and is less stressed because her workload dropped. He's struggling because his workload increased massively overnight. The only way that happens when she has the kid half the time is if he wasn't helping at all outside of his job. While she now gets half her spare time back, he's lost half his spare time. When she has the kid, why isn't he cleaning the place and getting on top of because he's not used to doing that. And Spaghetti says, my thoughts exactly. Also, it feels like OP misses marriage because he misses the convenience it brings. And the convenience it brings is the reason why I say that these men have too much energy. And that's the reason why some of them can cheat, because the wives are pretty much doing all of the heavy lifting. Charma says, my thoughts as well. He didn't say he wanted to get her back because he loved her or missed her, etc. He said because taking care of his house and the kid is hard. Fig Ninja says, yeah, I'm not surprised she wasn't exactly swept off of her feet. He just wants his unpaid servant back. And this person says, oh, those are called bangmaids. Completed It says, that's because her experience of married life and your experience of married life was vastly different. Yes, you were together, but you were miles apart. I bet she took care of the household and her child alone, also has a job, but you only took care of your job. I bet she asked for help and you didn't give it. There are four parts in marriage: couple, household, job, and child. This is spot on. And this is one of the reasons why so many men act blindsided when a woman finally just ups and leaves. Or this is the reason why they consider women saying, I need help, you need to help in this household, as nagging. They don't feel like they have to participate. Two, by Nickney says, yep, her overall workload dropped massively when he takes the kid, gives her time to clean and do stuff without the kid in hand. Also having nights off, time for friends. He had the reverse. He did his job, came home and did nothing to help, hung out with friends, etc. And now he's overwhelmed with having to be a parent half the time, which means he was doing very little beforehand for this to be so much more work. And with that, I'm going to end this here. I think that we're getting the point, and this is something that is going to continue to happen, especially as we have more and more of these conversations in these social media spaces. These men have to shift, and the birth rate will continue to plummet. The divorce rate will continue, and women will just opt to not live with men because if they don't change and start pulling half of the weight in the home, then why are women going to sign up? Especially since women are speaking on, what all these men are not doing. All of the government interventions and attempting to cajole women into being mothers and wives is not going to work until they start pushing men to do their part within the household. Anyways, jump in the comments. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. This was posted in my BurbNBougie subreddit from Ira Dainty, and she titled it Mule Marriage, and she capitalized it and made it bold. She says, I've always said these men don't want a traditional wife. They want a wife with the qualities of a traditional woman, but the contribution of a modern woman. Going 50-50 is modern. Women back then didn't pay the bills. But the women who go 50-50 so badly want to believe they're in a traditional marriage because they cook and clean. They think that's traditional because the weight of the relationship, especially in the Black community, has always been placed on the woman. Men have never been expected to come with the entirety of their part. That's why so many women are glad he just stayed around, despite him not doing anything. But that's a different story for a different day. At least the women who are in modern relationships paying 50-50 know they're in a modern marriage, which means they're not expected to cook and clean. They still have that freedom. These mule marriages are modern and they consist of a woman doing 100% of the housework, barely any help taking care of the kids, and coming in with at least 50% of the bills. It's not worth it. I know this because I've witnessed my mom, my aunts, my cousins go through this. And we haven't really labeled it mule marriage, but we have talked about struggle love. We're talking about mammies and muling. We're talking about all of this in the public square. And maybe we do just need to plop a label on it, and just call it what it is, because if you're doing 50% of the finances, that means that you're leaving your home and you're going out and doing all that, but then you have to still come back and do the second shift. The second shift is something that we consistently have been talking about, what women have consistently been talking about. But these men, they're going to get it, because we're going to talk about this enough to where women are going to wake up and not want to do this anymore. Because having a piece of a man that you have to basically do everything for, like a mom, like a word that I saw, a momager, like a mom manager for a man, is just not, it's just not appealing to many single women anymore. Radical Mind says, I have seen and heard this dynamic with married and non married couples. I'd rather be single. I have accepted that I'm selfish. I give when I feel it's feasible, but overall, I'd rather keep my resources to myself for me and mine. I'm working on my rich auntie vibe. I love my niece. I don't think that it's selfish. I don't think that this is a selfish take. She has seen that people don't reciprocate. So she's just working for herself, but she's not hoarding. She would pour into she's pouring into her niece. She just doesn't want to pour into some man. It was just here says they want submissive providers. They want women to go out, do their job, bring in the money, and not say anything, not have a voice, not have an opinion. And modern women, us feminist women have an opinion. We're assertive, we're loud with it. We're not just going to be quiet as we go off and do our jobs. Account necessary says makes sense. Sounds crazy in writing though. Eat Some Sketty says these men are the real gold diggers. And they're not just digging for physical gold, it is women's resources in general, our time, energy, and resources. And we've seen with some of these other stories when women pull back our time and energy and make them have to hold their own nuts, they become flustered. They flounder because they're not used to holding their own nuts and doing their part. So they have to flex that muscle more in order to get married. I'm sorry, in order to get better at it. They have to hold their own nuts, pull their own weight, and then they will get better at multitasking. It's just that we have been indoctrinated and socialized and trained to do all of this. And so many women are saying, I'm not going to do this for this man because I'm not seeing any return on all of the time, energy, and resources that I'm giving. I do want you guys to weigh in. This was definitely a good one. I'm glad that she broached this subject of mule marriages. Let me know what you think about this. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.